Sometimes the first sign of a new chapter is not that something beautiful enters your life. Sometimes it is that everything familiar begins to leave. The people you thought would always stay become distant. The door you were certain would open suddenly closes. The plans you spent months building collapse in a few days. Things that once made you happy begin to feel empty. Places where you once felt comfortable start making your heart restless. And the most confusing part is this: you are praying, you are trying, you are asking Allah for guidance. Yet instead of your life becoming easier, it seems as though pieces of it are being taken away. You begin to wonder, Ya Allah, I asked you to improve my life. Why does it feel like my life is falling apart? But what if the destruction is not the final destination? What if some things are falling because they cannot travel with the person you are becoming? What if Allah is teaching your heart to stop depending on something that was never strong enough to carry it? We must be careful here. In Islam, we cannot look at every hardship and confidently say, "This proves Allah has specially chosen me." The unseen belongs to Allah alone. A test can come for many reasons, and only Allah knows its complete wisdom. But one thing is certain: Allah can use the very thing that hurts you to guide you. He can use a closed door to protect you. He can use disappointment to remove an unhealthy attachment. He can use loneliness to teach you His closeness. He can use delay to purify your intention. He can use loss to make you finally see what you were too distracted to see before. The Quran reminds us that we may dislike something while it contains goodness for us, and we may love something while it contains harm. Allah knows while we do not. That means one of the greatest mistakes you can make during a difficult season is deciding that because you do not understand what Allah is doing, nothing good can possibly be happening. You see the ending. Allah sees what it is preventing. You see the rejection. Allah sees where acceptance would have taken you. You see the person walking away. Allah sees what remaining attached to that person could have done to your faith, your peace, your dignity, or your future. You see your plan breaking. Allah sees another road that your plan was keeping you from noticing. And sometimes before Allah changes what is around you, He changes what is inside you. That change can hurt because your old habits will resist it. Your old attachments will resist it. Your ego will resist it. Your expectations will resist it. You may even miss a version of your life that Allah is teaching you to outgrow. So if your old life is becoming uncomfortable, do not immediately assume you are being abandoned. Ask a deeper question. What is Allah teaching me here? Because sometimes the chapter you are grieving was never meant to become the entire book. And these 7 lessons may help you understand why certain seasons of your life feel as though everything familiar is being rearranged. Lesson 1. What cannot follow you will leave. One of the hardest lessons to accept is that not everything you love is meant to remain in every season of your life. We become attached to people, routines, dreams, places, identities, and expectations. Then, without realizing it, we begin treating temporary things as though Allah promised they would be permanent, but He never did. Some people are part of one chapter. Some opportunities teach one lesson. Some friendships reveal one part of you. Some places protect you for a season and later become too small for the person Allah is helping you become. And when something ends, the heart often interprets the ending as failure. You say, "I lost it." But sometimes losing something is simply discovering that it was never yours to keep forever. This is especially painful when you were sincere. You loved sincerely, you helped sincerely, you stayed loyal, you prayed, you tried to fix things, you gave chances, and still something ended. That can make you question everything. But sincerity does not guarantee that every relationship will remain. Good intentions do not guarantee that every plan will succeed. Sometimes you can do your best and still be taken in another direction. Your responsibility is not to control every outcome. Your responsibility is to remain faithful to Allah through the outcome. There are things in your life right now that may have become so familiar that you cannot imagine yourself without them. But familiarity is not the same as destiny. Sometimes Allah allows distance because your heart was becoming too dependent. Sometimes He allows a door to close because you kept standing in front of it while better responsibilities were waiting behind you. Sometimes a person leaves and only months later do you realize how much of yourself you had been losing while trying to keep them. At first, you miss their presence. Later, you notice the peace that returned after their absence. At first, you cry because the opportunity disappeared. Later, you discover the opportunity would have taken you away from what mattered most. At first, you think, why did Allah let this end? Later, you whisper, Alhamdulillah, it did. This is why believers must learn not to judge Allah's wisdom from the first painful page. You do not know what the next page contains. Imagine holding tightly to a rope that is burning your hand. Someone tells you, let it go. But because you have held it for so long, releasing it feels more frightening than the pain itself. That is how attachment works. Sometimes we know something is harming us, yet we still fear life without it. We say, at least I know this pain. Allah may be teaching you that familiar pain is still pain. A familiar cage is still a cage. A familiar distraction is still a distraction. And when something cannot follow you into the next stage of your growth, its departure can feel like your world is breaking. But your world is not always breaking. Sometimes your attachment is breaking. Sometimes an illusion is breaking. Sometimes dependence on creation is breaking. Sometimes the belief that you cannot survive without someone is breaking. And that breaking can be mercy. Do not chase every person who walks away. Do not force every door back open. Do not rebuild every bridge Allah allowed to collapse. Before you run after what left, ask yourself, was this bringing me closer to Allah? Was I becoming better because of it? Was my dignity protected? Was my faith protected? Was my peace protected? Was I becoming more grateful, disciplined, and sincere? Or was I slowly losing myself while calling it loyalty? There are departures you will never completely understand. Trust Allah anyway. You do not need to hate what left. You do not need revenge. You do not need to prove anything. You can simply say, Ya Allah, if this was good for me, return it in a way that pleases you. And if it was harmful, remove its attachment from my heart and replace it with what brings me closer to you. That is maturity. That is tawakkul, because sometimes the greatest mercy is not receiving what you begged to keep. Sometimes it is finally becoming strong enough to release it. Lesson 2. Comfort starts losing its grip. There comes a strange moment in spiritual growth when things that once satisfied you no longer satisfy you. The entertainment is still there. The conversations are still there. The routine is still there. The same people may still surround you, yet something inside you has changed. You laugh, but the laughter feels temporary. You achieve something, but the excitement disappears quickly. You scroll longer, buy more, distract yourself more, stay busy longer, yet the emptiness returns, and you begin asking yourself, why does nothing feel the same anymore? Sometimes the answer is not that your life has become meaningless. Sometimes Allah is making you aware that you were expecting temporary things to provide what only closeness to Him can provide. There is a type of emptiness that another person cannot fix. Money cannot fix it. Attention cannot fix it. Recognition cannot fix it. A new relationship cannot fix it. More followers cannot fix it. A more beautiful house cannot fix it, because the hunger is deeper than the world. Your soul was created to know its Creator. So sometimes Allah allows the glitter of the dunya to lose some of its grip on your heart. Not because everything worldly is evil. Islam does not teach us to abandon lawful blessings. You can enjoy your family. You can build a career. You can earn wealth. You can travel. You can laugh. You can own beautiful things. But none of them were created to become your God. None of them can carry the entire weight of your heart. And when your heart gives creation a job only the Creator can fulfill, disappointment becomes inevitable. Maybe this is why your old life suddenly feels too small. You are not satisfied by the things you used to chase. You are beginning to ask deeper questions. What is all of this for? Who am I becoming? Will this matter when I stand before Allah? Why am I sacrificing my peace just to impress people? Why am I constantly seeking approval from people who themselves are searching for approval? These questions can be uncomfortable, but they can also be the beginning of awakening. Because many people do not change while comfort is still working. As long as the distraction numbs them, they keep distracting themselves. As long as attention makes them feel important, they keep chasing attention. As long as people fill the silence, they never learn how to sit alone with Allah. Then one day, the same things stop working. And now you are forced to look inward. You pray differently. You make dua differently. You begin protecting your salah. You start thinking about your character. You start becoming selective about what enters your eyes, ears, and heart. You become less interested in proving yourself and more interested in improving yourself. That transition can feel lonely because people around you may not understand it. They may say, "You have changed." Maybe you have. Not every change is bad. If becoming closer to Allah makes certain conversations less attractive, let them become unattractive. If protecting your heart makes certain environments uncomfortable, listen to that discomfort. If you no longer enjoy something that repeatedly damages your iman, do not mourn the loss of appetite for it. Thank Allah. Some people beg Allah to remove a temptation while you may be experiencing the beginning of that removal. Do not keep returning to what Allah is helping your heart outgrow simply because you miss the familiarity. Growth often feels like grief before it feels like freedom. The old version of you knew exactly where to go when uncomfortable. Distract yourself, call that person, seek validation, buy something, stay online, avoid silence. The new version of you is learning another response. Make wudu, pray 2 rakas, open the Quran, walk quietly, make sincere dhikr, speak to Allah before speaking to the world. That is a different life, and sometimes the old life must become less satisfying before you become willing to build it. Lesson 3. Closed doors change your direction. There are doors you asked Allah to open with your entire heart. You prayed for them after Salah. You thought about them at night. You imagined your future behind them. You made plans around them, and then they closed. No explanation, no second chance, no clear reason, just a closed door. That moment can make you feel forgotten, but a closed door is not evidence that Allah did not hear you. Allah heard every dua. He knew every hope attached to it. He knew exactly how much you wanted it, and He also knew what you could not see. Think about how limited our knowledge is. We know what something looks like today. Allah knows where it leads years from now. You see a job. Allah sees the environment, the people, the influence, the pressure, the consequences, and everything attached to it. You see a marriage proposal. Allah knows 2 hearts completely. You see an opportunity. Allah sees what accepting it might add to your life and what it might remove from your faith. You see one beautiful beginning. Allah knows the ending. This does not mean every rejected opportunity was secretly terrible. We do not know the unseen. But it does mean you should never assume Allah's wisdom disappeared simply because your preferred outcome disappeared. The believer says, "I wanted this, but Allah knows more than I know." That sentence can save your heart from years of bitterness. Some of your greatest redirections will begin as rejection. You wanted one road. Allah placed you on another. At first, you resisted. Later, you discovered people, lessons, opportunities, and spiritual growth you would never have encountered on your original route. There are people alive today who thank Allah for things they once cried over. They cried when a relationship ended. Years later, they saw why. They cried when one job rejected them. Later, another opportunity changed their life. They cried because a plan was delayed. Later, they realized they were not ready when they originally demanded it. The delay trained them. The rejection redirected them. The disappointment matured them. The closed door made them knock somewhere else, and the somewhere else became part of their qadr. So stop standing forever outside a door that will not open. Make dua, take halal action, try sincerely, seek advice, do istihara when appropriate. Then accept that you are a servant, not the controller of destiny. If Allah opens it, walk through with gratitude. If Allah closes it, walk away with dignity. This is especially important when a closed door involves another person. Do not destroy your self-respect trying to force someone to choose you. Do not turn one human being into the center of your qadr. If something is written for you, Allah is fully capable of bringing it to you through the means He wills. And if something is not written for you, exhausting your soul will not turn it into your portion. Your job is not to manipulate destiny. Your job is to obey Allah while destiny unfolds. There is peace in this, deep peace, because you stop seeing every rejection as humiliation. You begin seeing some rejection as direction. You stop asking only, how can I reopen this? You start asking, Ya Allah, where are you guiding me now? That question changes everything. A closed door can make you finally look left and right. It can make you notice the path you ignored. It can make you build skills you never planned to build. It can make you return to Allah with a sincerity comfort never produced. And sometimes the door does not reopen because Allah wants you to stop living in the hallway, move, learn, pray, heal, grow. There is more to your life than the one outcome you wanted. Lesson 4. Loneliness teaches who remains. Some transformations happen in crowds. Others can only happen in solitude. There may come a season when your circle becomes smaller, messages become fewer. People who once checked on you stop calling. Someone you thought understood you suddenly does not. You find yourself spending more time alone than you expected. And loneliness can become one of the most difficult emotional tests. Human beings need connection. Islam values family, friendship, community, brotherhood, sisterhood, compassion, and good companionship. So loneliness should not be romanticized as though isolation itself is always spiritually superior. But there are seasons when Allah allows you to discover something you could not discover while surrounded by noise. Who are you when nobody is applauding? Who are you when nobody is reassuring you? Who are you when the person you depended on is unavailable? Who do you turn to first? This is where loneliness can expose attachment. You may discover that you had been using people as emotional oxygen. If they replied, you were peaceful. If they ignored you, your entire day collapsed. If they praised you, you felt valuable. If they criticized you, you felt worthless. If they stayed, life felt meaningful. If they left, you lost yourself. That is too much power to place in another human being's hands. People are human. They become tired. They misunderstand. They change. They get busy. They make mistakes. They leave. They die. How can your entire identity rest on something so temporary? Allah teaches us something far more stable. Your worth does not disappear when someone's attention disappears. Your relationship with Allah does not end because someone decided not to remain. Your future does not collapse because one person walked away. Your purpose existed before they arrived, and it can continue after they leave. Sometimes the silence around you becomes the place where you finally hear what your soul has been saying for years. You realize how exhausted you have become from chasing people. You realize how much you explain yourself, how often you beg to be understood, how much energy you spend trying to remain important to people who give you crumbs of attention. Then one night, something changes. You stop chasing, not because you hate anyone, not because you think you are better than anyone, but because your heart finally becomes tired of begging at doors Allah never told you to worship. You turn toward Him, and you realize something beautiful. Allah was there before they came. Allah was there while they stayed. Allah is there after they leave. Allah heard the tears you never explained. Allah knew the words you could not form. Allah knew why you were exhausted before anyone asked. And while people can support you, no person can know you as your Creator knows you. This realization does not make you stop loving people. It teaches you to love them correctly. Love them without worshipping their presence. Appreciate them without making them responsible for your entire peace. Be loyal without abandoning yourself. Give without turning your heart away from Allah. And when someone leaves, grieve if you need to grieve. Islam does not require you to pretend that pain does not hurt. Cry, make dua, speak to trustworthy people, ask for support. But do not make a permanent home inside temporary loneliness. The season will change, and even before it changes, you can change within it. Maybe Allah is teaching you to become the person who can sit in an empty room and still know, my life has value. My Lord has not abandoned me. My future is not over. I still have prayers to pray. I still have good to do. I still have people to serve. I still have a purpose. Sometimes Allah does not immediately remove the loneliness. Sometimes He first removes your fear of it. And once you stop being terrified of being alone, you stop accepting disrespect merely to keep company. That is powerful. Because the person who knows Allah is enough as the foundation of the heart becomes much harder to manipulate with temporary attention. Lesson 5. Your old self can no longer lead. Sometimes the thing falling apart is not around you. It is the person you used to be, and that may be the most uncomfortable transformation of all. Your old self had patterns. Maybe you avoided difficult conversations. Maybe you reacted emotionally to everything. Maybe you needed everyone to approve of you. Maybe you delayed salah. Maybe you wasted hours in habits that added nothing to your life. Maybe you stayed attached to relationships you knew were damaging your heart. Maybe you kept saying, one day I will change. Then Allah allowed something to happen that made one day feel too expensive. Pain has a strange ability to expose us. When life is comfortable, you can hide from your weaknesses. When everything is shaken, they come to the surface. Your impatience appears, your fear appears, your jealousy appears, your dependence appears, your lack of discipline appears, your attachment appears, and you may not like what you see, but seeing the weakness is better than spending your entire life pretending it does not exist. You cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. Maybe the hardship did not create every weakness. Maybe it revealed what was already there. Now you have a choice. You can spend the rest of your life blaming the test, or you can allow the test to educate you. Ask yourself, what did this season show me about myself? Maybe it showed you that you are stronger than you thought. Maybe it showed you that you rely too heavily on people. Maybe it showed you that you need boundaries. Maybe it showed you that you speak too quickly when angry. Maybe it showed you that your relationship with Allah was strongest only when you needed something. Maybe it showed you that you had built your identity around being wanted. Do not run from those discoveries. Use them. Repent where repentance is needed. Apologize where apology is needed. Set boundaries where boundaries are needed. Learn where knowledge is needed. Seek help where help is needed. Change your routine. Protect your salah. Choose better company. Guard what you consume. Speak less when angry. Stop revisiting what keeps reopening the wound. You cannot ask Allah for a different life while insisting on remaining exactly the same person. A new chapter often demands new discipline. And discipline is not dramatic. It is ordinary. It is waking up and praying when you do not feel spiritual. It is controlling your tongue when anger tells you to speak. It is leaving something haram even when nobody would know. It is refusing to return to a harmful pattern merely because you are lonely. It is doing good consistently when there is no audience. It is saying, "I was wrong," without protecting your ego. It is forgiving without giving everyone unlimited access to you again. It is becoming trustworthy, patient, responsible, grateful, honest, and humble. Sometimes you are asking Allah, "When will my life change?" And perhaps part of the answer is, when you start changing the habits that keep rebuilding the same life. Do not misunderstand this. Not every hardship is caused by your habits, and believers can experience severe tests despite living righteously. But whenever difficulty enters your life, there is still value in asking what it can teach you. The old version of you may have survived through avoidance. The new version must learn courage. The old version chased validation. The new version learns self-respect. The old version prayed only when desperate. The new version remembers Allah during ease and hardship. The old version kept returning to what broke them. The new version remembers the lesson. This is how a painful season becomes transformation instead of merely suffering. You do not just escape the storm. You emerge from it different. Lesson 6. Delay breaks your dependence. There is a kind of pain that does not come from losing something. It comes from waiting for it. You have asked Allah, nothing. You wait, nothing. You pray again. Nothing seems to change. Days become months. Months sometimes become years. And slowly the question changes. At first you ask, when? Then you ask, why not me? Then, if you are not careful, Shaitan whispers, maybe Allah has forgotten you. Allah has not forgotten you. Delay is not forgetfulness. Silence is not absence. And a dua that has not been answered in the exact form and timing you requested is not proof that it was ignored. The believer's relationship with Allah cannot be reduced to a transaction. I prayed, therefore I must receive exactly this, exactly now. Allah is your Lord. He is not bound by the timeline your emotions created. Sometimes the waiting itself is transforming you. You first make dua because you want the gift. Then months later, you realize the dua has brought you closer to the giver. You begin waking for tahajjud. You become more careful with salah. You make istighfar. You leave sins. You become softer. You become less arrogant. You learn patience. You begin trusting Allah in ways you never needed to learn while everything was immediate. Now imagine if the answer had come on the first day. Would you have built that relationship? Perhaps. Perhaps not. Only Allah knows. But what you know is that waiting can reveal what your heart depends upon. Suppose you are waiting for marriage. You begin to think, I cannot be happy until I marry. Be careful. Marriage is a beautiful blessing, but no human being can become your God. Suppose you are waiting for money. You begin thinking, once I have enough, I will finally feel secure. Be careful. Provision is from Allah, and wealth itself cannot guarantee peace. Suppose you are waiting for a particular person. You begin saying, if I do not get them, my life is over. Be careful. Your life belongs to Allah, not to one human being. Delay can expose these hidden statements of the heart. Then Allah teaches you a stronger sentence. I deeply want this, but I need Allah more. That sentence is freedom. It does not mean you stop wanting good things. Make dua for them. Ask boldly. Allah is generous. But do not turn a blessing into a condition for your faith. Do not say, I will trust Allah only when He gives me what I want. Trust means trusting Him before you know the ending. The Quran teaches that whoever is mindful of Allah, He makes a way out and provides from places they could not expect. And whoever relies upon Allah, He is sufficient for them. Notice what Tawakkul does. It does not tell you that you control the route. It tells you that you know who controls it. This is why waiting can become worship. Every day you remain obedient while the answer is delayed. You are saying with your actions, Ya Allah, I still trust you. Every time you resist returning to haram, because halal is taking longer than expected, you are saying, Ya Allah, I prefer your pleasure over my impatience. Every time you refuse to manipulate, beg, or compromise your dignity to force an outcome, you are saying, Ya Allah, what you write for me will reach me. That kind of patience changes a person, and perhaps one day the answer comes. Or perhaps Allah gives something different. Either way, you are no longer the person who first made the dua. The waiting changed you. It taught you that your peace cannot remain hostage to a date on a calendar. It taught you to live while waiting, to worship while waiting, to improve while waiting, to laugh while waiting, to serve others while waiting, to build while waiting. And that may be one of the most valuable lessons Allah gives you. Do not put your entire life on hold because one dua is still unfolding. Lesson 7. Surrender opens the next chapter. Eventually, you reach a moment where fighting reality becomes more painful than accepting Allah's decree. You have tried. You have cried. You have replayed the situation 1,000 times. You have imagined different endings. You have asked, what if? What if I had said something else? What if I had tried harder? What if they had stayed? What if that door had opened? What if I had received it sooner? But what if cannot rewrite qadr, and there comes a moment when healing requires surrender. Not surrender to despair, surrender to Allah. There is a difference. Despair says, nothing good is coming. Tawakkul says, I do not know what is coming, but Allah does. Despair says, my story is ruined. Faith says, this chapter hurt, but my story belongs to Allah. Despair says, I lost control. Surrender says, I was never in complete control. That realization can feel frightening at first, then it becomes peaceful, because you stop carrying responsibilities that were never yours. You are responsible for effort, not destiny. You are responsible for dua, not forcing the answer. You are responsible for character, not controlling how everyone treats you. You are responsible for repentance, not changing the past. You are responsible for today's obedience, not knowing tomorrow. Once you understand this, the heart begins to breathe again. You stop waking every morning trying to solve the entire future before breakfast. You say, today I will pray. Today I will do what is halal. Today I will work. Today I will protect my heart. Today I will be grateful for what remains. Tomorrow belongs to Allah. This is where the next chapter quietly begins, not necessarily when the new job arrives, not when the new person arrives, not when money arrives, not when everyone finally understands you. The new chapter begins when your relationship with Allah changes, when you stop seeing Him only as the one you turn to when everything else fails, and start seeing Him as the one you should have turned to first, when your salah becomes home, when your dua becomes conversation, not merely emergency. When your heart learns that losing something from the dunya does not mean losing Allah, then the things that once terrified you lose some of their power. Someone leaving still hurts, but you no longer believe their departure can destroy your entire future. A door closing still disappoints you, but you no longer think one rejection defines your worth. Waiting still becomes difficult, but you know Allah is not late. The past still carries memories, but you stop allowing memories to control today's obedience. This is surrender, and surrender does not make you passive. You still take action. You still seek opportunities. You still work hard. You still communicate. You still solve problems. You still seek treatment when sick. You still ask knowledgeable people for guidance. You still build your future. But underneath all of your effort is one peaceful truth. If Allah wills something different from what I planned, Allah knows what I do not know. That sentence is where anxiety begins losing some of its control. You realize that your plan is not your God. Your timeline is not your God. People's approval is not your God. Your past is not your God. Allah is your Lord. And when that truth settles deeply into the heart, the old life may genuinely begin to fall away. The life where you begged people to stay. The life where one rejection could destroy your identity. The life where you postponed your relationship with Allah. The life where you measured yourself by attention. The life where you needed every question answered before you could trust. The life where you thought losing control meant losing everything. That life starts ending, and perhaps this is the most beautiful part. The new you is not built because life finally becomes painless. The new you is built because pain no longer has permission to separate you from Allah. You begin to understand the Quranic promise that with hardship comes ease, not always after every difficulty in the exact form you imagined. But Allah has not created hardship without wisdom, nor has He left the believer without hope. So when your old life begins falling apart, do not immediately rush to rebuild every piece exactly where it was. Some pieces may belong in the past. Some people may need to remain memories. Some habits need to end. Some attachments need to weaken. Some expectations need to die. Some sins need repentance. Some wounds need healing. Some dreams need redirection. And some parts of you need to meet Allah again. Let the new chapter be built differently. Build it with Salah at the center. Build it with Tawakkul. Build it with boundaries. Build it with humility. Build it with halal choices. Build it with gratitude. Build it with people who remind you of Allah. Build it knowing that everything you possess is an amana, not a permanent guarantee. Then whether your life becomes easy or difficult, crowded or quiet, abundant or simple, your heart has somewhere firm to stand. And that foundation is not the dunya, it is Allah, golden closing. Maybe right now you are watching pieces of your old life disappear. A person is gone, a plan failed, a door closed, a dream has been delayed, your circle has become smaller, and you do not recognize the person you are becoming. Do not rush to call yourself lost. Sometimes you are simply between chapters. The old one has ended, but the next one has not yet become clear. This middle place requires faith, because there may be no applause here, no obvious miracle, no immediate explanation. Only you, your prayer mat, your questions, and Allah. Stay there, keep praying, keep improving, keep making dua, keep choosing what is halal. Keep your heart soft, and do not allow one painful season to make you think Allah has abandoned you. The Quran teaches us that Allah does not burden a soul beyond its capacity. So whatever chapter you are walking through, walk through it with Him. If something leaves, ask Allah for the strength not to lose yourself with it. If something remains delayed, ask Allah to make the waiting purify rather than poison your heart. If a door closes, ask Allah to guide your feet toward what is better. If you become lonely, use part of that silence to rediscover your Creator. And if your old life truly is falling apart, perhaps your greatest dua should not simply be, Ya Allah, give me everything back. Perhaps sometimes it should be, Ya Allah, return what is good for me, remove what is harmful to me, change what needs to change inside me, and do not allow my heart to become attached to anything more than it is attached to you. Because the goal is not to recover every piece of your old life. The goal is to become the servant of Allah you were meant to become. And one day, by Allah's permission, you may look back at the chapter that made you cry and realize, that ending taught me to pray. That rejection taught me dignity. That loneliness taught me reliance upon Allah. That delay taught me patience. That loss taught me what truly mattered. And the life I thought was falling apart was the life Allah was teaching me not to worship anymore. So trust Him, take the next halal step, and let Allah write what comes next.